Have you heard of David Shaw? You must have if you have seen the documentary Dave Not Coming Back. It is one upsetting tale that has really moved viewers all over the world. But if you are looking for a less harrowing tale, then look no further. This is the perfect video for you. Today, we will be looking at why cave diving is so dangerous. What better way to understand the horrors and mishaps one can face whilst cave diving than looking back at the tragic story of David Shaw? You must be wondering, how did the diving disaster happen? Well, stick around till the end as we answer this question, and more as we delve into the final moments of the unfortunate diver. Grab a couple of pillows as this might get a little scary. Without further ado, let us begin. First, before we talk about the story of his death, let us start off with a formal introduction to David Shaw. Well, David John Shaw was born on the 20th of July in 1954. He was not just a scuba diver by profession, but he also excelled in the art of flying and was a licensed pilot for Cathay Pacific. He managed both of his professions, and if you ask me, diving was more of a hobby than a profession. He started flying professionally for Cathay Pacific back in 1989 and kept flying for them until his death, which occurred in 2005. As you can imagine, he was quite a talented person and had worked hard to reach where he was in life. You know now that he was a professional pilot and was good at his job. Now let us discuss his diving credentials. Shaw was an amazing diver and held numerous records. This included records such as depth on a rebreather, depth in a cave on a rebreather, depth at altitude in a rebreather, and depth running a line. If you are confused as to what a rebreather actually is, it is a breathing device that takes in carbon dioxide from an individual's exhaled breath to allow them to rebreathe each breath's unused oxygen and, if applicable, any present inert gas. As you can see, Dave really excelled in diving with a rebreather and had solidified himself as one of the best divers to dive with a rebreather all over the world. He truly was a legend in the art of diving. Now let us talk about what you all have been waiting for. How did Dave Shaw really die? Well, this story starts off with a different diver, DM Dreyer. He was a young diver and died on December 17, 1994, while taking a practice dive at the age of 20. He was assisting a diving team in preparing the environment for a challenging technical dive that would happen later that week. People who had been diving with him said firsthand that Dreyer got lost on the ascent at 50 meters below the surface. They speculated that he had likely fallen unconscious due to oxygen poisoning or hypercapnia brought on by the rapid breathing. We will not dwell on the intricacies surrounding the death of Dreyer. That is a topic for another video. You must be wondering, what does Dreyer's death has to do with the death of Dave Shaw? Well, it is all about the location of Dreyer's death. In South Africa's Northern Cape province, a freshwater cave known as Bushman's Hole has been explored to a depth of 282.6 meters. This cave is notorious for being deadly for divers due to its extreme depths and tricky conditions, not to mention the high amounts of pressure at the bottom. And remember the records I was talking about at the start of the video, which was broken by Dave? Well, all of them were undertaken in the Bushman's Cave. When Dreyer died there, his body was lost inside the Bushman's Hole. Shaw, who was well known for doing deep dives, took it upon himself to recover the long-lost body of Dreyer, which had been drifting inside the Bushman's Hole for more than a decade now. So now for the main part now, how did he actually die? Well, Dave used an underwater camera to record his dive, which allowed researchers to ascertain that the high pressure caused him to experience breathing problems. So as you can imagine, everything was being monitored. When he reached Dreyer's body, he had problems as the body unintentionally started to float. This was a rare complication. The body would continue to be negatively buoyant because the visible sections were reduced to the skeleton. Dave had been told by a number of experts. Dreyer's body, however, had transformed into adipocere, a soap-like substance that floats inside his wetsuit. This was pretty self-explanatory, as when a body is in water for so long it tends to disintegrate. Dave was using both hands as he was working and had his conlight laying on the cave floor. The strong battery canisters that cave divers often wear on their waists or occasionally attached to their tanks are connected by wires to the powerful underwater lights that they employ. The lines from the body bag appeared to have become tangled with the light head. Otherwise, he would have been able to wrap the wire behind his neck, but he was unable to do so. As a result, he died from the physical strain of trying to free himself. So in the end, after all those years of diving and all those records, Dave died by the simple tangling of wires. It is pretty insane when you think about it. I mean, he could have died for so many complicated reasons, but in the end, he died from tangling wires. You must be thinking that his body must have also become lost in the cave. But as he and Dreyer were tangled in the wires, around 3 days later, as the dive team was retrieving their gear, both of the remains that had become tangled in the lines were hauled up to the surface. So in a way, Dave was successful in doing his job, which was to recover Dreyer, but he lost his life in the process. A true hero's death. In the end, I would just like to say that disasters, such as this, showcase the dangers divers take when undertaking a dive. The number of risks is immense, and the reward is minimal. While Dave's intentions were pure, as he wanted to recover the long-lost body of Dreyer, it also was due to the fact that he was passionate about the art of diving. He had achieved so much that he was confident that he would be able to pull it off. But this is deep diving, folks. One mistake could be fatal. As demonstrated by the story, I just told you about the death of Dave. But that is not all. This could have occurred for a variety of reasons. Sometimes divers get lost, and sometimes they cannot control their breathing, which leads to panic and oxygen deficiency, leading to them passing out and eventually dying. Sometimes they cannot deal with the insane amount of pressure at deep depths. So, folks, appreciate the art of deep diving, as it is one thrilling and risky activity and is not for weak hearts. It requires guts, and thus, we should hail the heroes who risk their lives in order to do these dives. That is not all. We should also start to raise awareness about the risks these divers are putting themselves through, as not many people know about the dangers of diving. If we manage to start an awareness campaign, we might get people united and call for more safety measures in place so that in the future no more deaths, like Dave here, can happen and such disasters can be avoided. I think I have explained everything there is to know about the death of Dave Shaw. But if you are still confused and still have any questions regarding the matter, do let us know in the comments down below. We value the feedback of our esteemed subscribers, so do not hesitate to do so. And I almost forgot, do let us know if you want any similar stories in future videos. We would love to cater to your needs. That is it for the video. I hope you liked and enjoyed the video. Please let me know by pressing the like button, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for future notifications. Till then, take care of yourself, and I will see you guys at the next one.